have a whole bunch of books to share with you today, actually a week of books. It all started when this one came in the mail. It's called The Popper Penguin Rescue, and it is written by Elliot Schreffer. This one just was published this fall. It's actually a continuation of Mr. Popper's Penguins. So what happened is the publishing company asked Elliot if he would continue on with the story, maybe update it and fix it a little bit scientifically. And so he did, and I think he was very successful. Basically, these kids find two penguin eggs in this new home that they've moved into, and they are part of an area where the Poppers used to live, and they actually might even be related to the Poppers because that's their last name too. Anyway, the mom finds out after the chicks are hatched what happened, and so she tries to set things right and get them back to where they really should live. So it's a delightful story, nice and short. I love books like this because we don't have as many of them. This one is probably only about 164 pages long, and it's perfect for grades 2 through 5 and a good read aloud for even younger. So The Popper Penguin Rescue. Now, no doubt you've seen the movie. A lot of people have, and it is a delightful movie. I did want to go back and reread this book. I don't know if I'd ever read the book, to be perfectly honest. It won the Newbery back in 1939, and it is the story of this painter, this house painter, who really longs for adventures and actually connects with Captain Cook, who has been on a lot of polar adventures, and he sends him a penguin. Well, this penguin is kind of attached to him, but starts to get a little sad. And so the local zoo sends them a penguin of theirs that's sad too. They mate and become a whole family of penguins, which Mr. Popper takes on the road. At the end, of course, he needs to figure out the right thing to do with the penguins. And what he does with them maybe isn't so scientifically correct as it would be today, which is why the second one really fixes that. So a highly delightful book. It's a little more old-fashioned, old-timey, but I still enjoyed it a lot. Mr. Popper's Penguins. I do recall when the movie first came out, I started reading this with first graders, and they were just captured by it. And they were first graders who were used to me reading picture books to them. And so I think it would be a really good read aloud for younger kids too. And then I needed to read what the kids were reading. And so I read The Deep End, The Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I read the first one when it first came out, and I said to myself, you know, Jeff Kinney knows how to write for kids. He's got a great snarky kid humor and great pictures, and it's about a middle schooler. So in most of the books, you know, he isn't acting like a first grader by any means, but still I know that first graders, second graders, third graders always enjoy these books as well. This is the one where the family goes on a camping trip, and of course disaster always happens to follow them around. It made me laugh out loud. I just enjoyed it a lot. So The Deep End, I know why kids love it. Now, Jeff Kinney has also started a new series with Rowley Jefferson, Greg's friend, and Greg's friend is really, really nice. And so in this story, Rowley Jeffrey is writing a story, and he asks in between chapters Greg's advice, and Greg always gives great advice. It's pretty funny. I really enjoyed that part of the book. Overall, I kind of got bogged down with this story because there was a lot happening. It was almost like Jeff Kinney had taken all these different ideas and then pulled them one by one and said, okay, now we're going to add this to the story. Okay, now we're going to add this to the story. There was a lot going on. So I think I need to read maybe the first one that he did, which was The Diary of Awesome Friendly Kid, and see if that's the same style. So this is the second one in this new series, Rowley Jefferson's Awesome Friendly Adventure, all about writing a story. This might actually be a great starting off point for lots of kids who want to write and draw their own stories. And finally, award-winning author Gary D Schmidt, who has won the Newbery, wrote a book with his wife Elizabeth Stinkney. Actually, she passed away in 2013, and this was one of them that she had started. So he published it after her death. And it's a short chapter book, 64 pages long, about an old-time tradition, old-time setting with every once in a while some beautiful illustrations. But it's about a mom who says one day, you need to get a brown cow from the baby so that she can have milk. And so father and his son set out with a knife and throughout the day make trades so that they can come home with a brown cow. So you might have heard stories like that before, where it starts out with a paper clip and then eventually the man was able to buy a house with it just through a series of trading up. That's kind of a similar idea to this one. It's a sweet story, just really old-timey and a great read aloud, especially if you want a short chapter book or you just want to go back in time a little bit and be nostalgic. So it's a long road on a short day. All right, that's what I read this week, and I hope that you found something there that you might be inspired to read as well. So in the meantime, happy reading, everyone.